what originally James was.
I love teaching. I love coming alongside students and helping other staff and people grow.
You were forced out of your love of life. That's your education.
That's right. Yeah. So everything that I was and wanted to be was a teacher and educator.
I'm trying to visualize if I have to leave India, am I going to be comfortable? And the answer is peak of the echo. Like, no, Kunal, you cannot leave.
If I don't take this opportunity now that has been forced upon me, when else was I going to do it? I was just going to end up in a school again, working the 9 to 5, getting the school holidays.
3 things that you learned that, I shouldn't have done this.
The being able to build team, build capacity, build leverage.
In different countries, different locations, holidaying. And I'm wondering, how is this guy making money while he's traveling?
Right, so who do you serve and why? And then how do you communicate that? And what are you leveraging? Is it AI? Is it a team? Is it automations, right? So building around...
Social media is playing a very big role. It's your parallel identity on the world front and on the face of the screen.
If you're going to have that founder freedom, if you're wanting that balance, that life...
People are still making mistakes. If you could highlight few of those mistakes, 2 or 3.
They don't have the system, the structure behind them. Even today.
So as a founder, I realized I was just not wasting my money, I was wasting my time on those people also.
Correct.
हेलो एंड नमस्ते एवरीबॉडी। हमारा आज का पॉडकास्ट जो है वो खास है, इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि हम पॉडकास्ट कर रहे हैं, इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि हमारा हर गेस्ट स्पेशल होता है, बट टुडे इज़ अ लिटिल मोर एक्स्ट्रा स्पेशल बिकॉज वी हैव आवर गेस्ट ऑल द वे फ्रॉम अब्रॉड across the borders, and I'm extremely happy to invite him to the show because he decided to come and speak about his knowledge on how can people overcome their challenges. His company is called Founder Freedom, and that really attracted me, and I really wanted him to come down to India and speak about it so that our audience, our people, our listeners can learn a little bit or a lot from him. So put your hands together for one and only James Clanfield. James, welcome to India.
Thank you very much for having me, Kunal. Appreciate it.
How are you feeling today?
Great. We've spent a bit of time together today, and I've been fed well. I've had some good coffee, looked around at the sites, Gateway of India, so feeling great. So thanks again for inviting me to the show, as well as taking me around to see your city.
Lovely. So we'll be taking this entire session in English so that James, sir, does not feel that I'm talking something that he doesn't need to understand, okay? So the idea of having James over here is that he really admires the culture of having mixed learning. That's where we met in International Forum of Coaches. And the best part was I learned something from him. And the even lovely part was he learned something from me, and we together learned something from other coaches who were senior to us, some were junior to us. And that really gave a spark to us that we should do something together. And I decided to invite him to India. And without even of a blink of an eye, James just said yes. So I think we all are lucky, and thank you, James, for picking this moment and being here in India, not just to do a podcast, but also to make this as a long-term relationship with me, my team, and our company. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. So, James, before we start with what we all are here for knowledge sharing, but if you could just highlight to me for our guests, our listeners, something about your story, that what originally James was and what changed his life? I mean, something about your personal life.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much. So originally I come from an education background. So for over 13 years, I was a teacher turned school leader and spent a lot of time, obviously, in education in some of Sydney's top leading schools, where I led curriculum, pastoral care, eventually becoming a deputy head of campus.
Wow.
And so that was everything who I was, my identity, my why. I love teaching. I love coming alongside students and helping other staff and people grow to teach and lead others also. Then this thing happened a few years ago. I'm not sure if you remember COVID, right? The pandemic changed everybody's life. And we'll sort of jump into it a little bit more a little bit later on, I'm sure. But at that time, sort of had that realization that, while we're at home, sort of looking at my 5 children around me, realizing that although I was going to work to, earn an income and to provide for them, I was missing out on so much of their life. And so by being home, my wife and I were like, is there some way that we can spend more time at home? And so that was sort of the birthplace of at the time, our digital marketing agency, which is Pillar Digital Marketing. And then from there, decided to grow, really be intentional about building that, which then led for us to be able to travel the world, experience culture and community, and build network and relationships like we have here. So sort of going from education into entrepreneurship, into coaching and being able to walk alongside other people. So that's sort of everything in a nutshell.
In a nutshell. So So for all our listeners, all our viewers, I just want to tell one thing, that James is from Australia, and he spent good long time there, and through work and for work, he decided to move to another nation altogether. I feel it's a dare. It takes a lot of dare to not just shift alone, but to take the whole family out of where you were living in. And for me, a big question that has, just been in my head, I kept that question reserved for the podcast today, that how easy or how difficult it is for somebody like you, who's a teacher, promoted to the level of being the principal of a school in a lovely country like Australia, and you decided to leave it, or it happened to you? What was it? I mean, we want to really go a little deep on this.
Yeah, to be perfectly honest, it definitely was not a decision. I was sort of forced out. I was pushed out of education.
You were forced out of your love of life. That's your education.
That's right. Yeah. So everything that I was and wanted to be was a teacher and educator. And during COVID, each to their own, making decisions. But in Australia, it was very strict around the mandates of vaccination and everything. And at that point in time, we chose not to, which we were living on campus. We were, very involved in leadership and everything. And just based on the government and the school system meant that we couldn't return to campus. And so we had to make a decision whether it was going to be one thing or another. And we decided that we were going to stick to our convictions at the time. But that is not an easy decision, right? When you need to put food on a table, where I've got 5 children, a wife and a dog and myself that I need to provide for, and to really sort of think about what would be the consequences of that, and what if we weren't successful in starting our business. So it definitely was a realization that it fell on me, right? And this is often many of us are stuck in or are in a system. We know what the paycheck is going to be and we get very comfortable in that. And I definitely was. But then to start your own business and realize that your income is very much on the value you can bring to other people, and it's reliant on you, is something that you need to step up into, right? And so we made that decision, and we left Australia once everything opened up again, and really sort of took our business to the world. We went to Europe for 2 years, and now we're in Malaysia for the past year and a half, building and growing our business over these past 4 or 5 years from what was nothing, right? Which was a steady paycheck from a school to starting a business and being able to provide for my family, and now do that quite comfortably.
Lovely. So as we heard, and I'm sure while you watch this or hear this, we feel the love that you have for your passion of teaching, and to leave that not just alone with your whole family. And by the way, James, he's got 5 kids. I've seen the pictures. I've met the family over a video call, and lovely wife, a great pet. To take them along with you means he's not alone in this whole journey of survival. It's the survival of all of them, and feeling what they would feel for you, because you have to stand up in front of them every day How do they look up to you? How are they respecting your this decision of moving from one country to... So for me, while even I'm talking, I'm trying to visualize if I have to leave India, am I going to be comfortable? And the answer is like it's at the peak of the echo, like, no, Kunal, you cannot leave. I'm feeling that.
Yeah.
How did you manage from going there to London, back now to Malaysia, and the passion of teaching and crossing the borders with the whole family, keeping them happy, and to keep that love for teaching and giving intact and growing? I mean, I wouldn't say intact. The love is growing actually. How, James? I mean, how?
Yeah, it definitely was a decision, right? And it had to be intentional. And I remember that sort of sitting by my desk at the time, looking for jobs to try to get back into teaching. And at that time, sort of thinking, all right, how am I going to provide? What are we going to do? And I looked out the window at our place in Sydney, and it was just this sea of grey roofs in the suburbs. And I realized that, you know, if I don't take this opportunity now that has been forced upon me, when else was I going to do it? I was just going to end up in a school again, you know, working the 9 to 5, getting the school holidays, and not really being that present for my family unless it was the evenings or the weekends. And so we decided that struggle was going to be worth it to, although difficult and very much, you know, the pressure's on, as the provider, is on your back. You're the one to put the food on the table, knowing that my children, my wife, I want them to be proud of me. I want them to be provided for. But it was knowing that this was the opportunity that God gave us. We can take advantage of that, or we can fall into what was comfortable again, or try to get just that next job. And so with that intention, we then thought, okay, let's go overseas. Let's do a bit of exploring. Let's learn about culture and community and food and people and how other people live, and at the same time educate our children, right? We homeschool them. So let them see the world, let them experience how different people live. And then because our business is remote, why not then build network and connections and people and community and build a business as we explore and experience something completely different and uncomfortable. And so it was with intention and with, I guess, the willpower that's what we wanted. We wanted something different, new for our life. And so this was the opportunity before us. And if we didn't take it, there wouldn't be another opportunity.
Lovely. I think adversity converted to opportunity. Adversity viewed as an opportunity, and adversity flipped to the opportunity. Whatever you can just think, James made it possible. James, I really appreciate you for being that bold, because I am sure, I mean, जितने भी लोग ये देख रहे हैं, आप ये सोच रहे हैं, अगर आपका एक परिवार है, आपके घर में 5 सदस्य हैं, आपकी वाइफ है, आपके हस्बैंड है, आपके साथ एक अपना प्यारा सा पेट है, और सडनली आपको जॉब से निकाला जाए और आपको एक ऐसी अपॉर्चुनिटी की खोज में अपना देश छोड़ना पड़े, क्या ये आपको ईजी लगता है? मुझे तो नहीं लग रहा है. बट हमारे खास मित्र, हमारे दोस्त who's come to India, Mr. James, he really he's not talking about it, he's actually proving it that it's possible. If you have any situation, if you want to flip it, you can do it. And I think what better than James' story. So James, in the excitement of putting you on a podcast and getting this started, I forgot to mention that we'll be having 4 to 5 segments of this whole podcast, where the first segment is about your personal life, which you just shared. The second phase is going to be what did you really start with? So we'll start with the segment where what business you got into. The third is going to be what did you learn through the challenges, and the fourth is what are you willing to serve and offer the world. So we know your journey, your struggles again, your discovery, and your purpose. So that's how we're going to move on. It's going to be a very candid flow of talks and thoughts. So we don't usually do a podcast where we have an iPad or we have a screen scrolling in front of us. We believe it in keeping it more natural, more flowy.
Conversation.
So conversational, and we love to talk. I mean, James is a master a coach, and that's where we met in International Coaching Forum. So yes, James, moving to the second segment here, that what was that you started as a business with your travel and the other things. So if you can just put me a little more highlight for our viewers and listeners, what was it that you did, and what from your background or from your past or your experience as a teacher, as a principal, as a coach, that you brought in to your current experience?
Yeah, great. I think this has been an evolution for me in particular. And I think anyone who sort of starts something from scratch needs to have that willingness and openness to learn and to evolve. I was quite fortunate to sort of grow in my leadership capacity and my experience as a teacher quite quickly, and sort of getting to the position that I did with the type of roles that I had, as well as qualifications. I did multiple master's degrees. I sort of grew in my capacity as a teacher, and was very adamant that I was going to reach the top, right? And so when it all came crashing down, my whole identity sort of not only shifted, it got lost. And at that time, there was, I don't know, an ad on Facebook or something to learn digital marketing or how to manage ads or something like that. And we thought, okay, something on the side.
Try something.
That's right. Give something on the side. It was just going to be probably means to an end, but something that could be quite simple to learn. I already did quite a bit in, social media and sort of websites. So I was quite interested in it as a hobby. So why not learn? And so we started that, and quite early on sort of got our first couple of case studies and did really well with them, and then turned that into a business, sort of doing the whole digital marketing, but more like lead generation, ads management for plumbers and roofers and all the trades-based businesses.
So any business, come what may, I'm here to help you. Just
correct. Yes, that's
so
right.
your authenticity to help somebody was always on.
But what I came to realize is that it's not my passion, right? My passion is teaching. And my passion is to come alongside people and train and coach and help them come to their own realizations, and they're going from A to B. That's what, we in education strive to do. So as much as I was helping people, we're doing quite well in building the Pillar Digital Marketing, our business, there's this gap there still. And so what I love is the training, the teaching, the coaching, and naturally, as sort of younger or a little less experienced people came in with their business, they had questions along the way, or they needed a little bit more guidance or direction, not just with their marketing, but to make business decisions. And not that I was a guru or anything, but being an educator and someone who learns quite quickly and has a passion for learning, we were very intentional. If we were going to do well as an educator, or I was very intentional, if I was going to be the best I could be as an educator, when I started my business, I wanted to be the best that I could be in business as well. So got extra training, I got coaching myself. And so started to just naturally coach these other solo founders, small business owners on just some micro decisions, realizing that this is what I love. This is what I need to do. And so that's where founder freedom really started to evolve from. That, yes, we had these clients that we're doing marketing for and doing some, getting them some great client work. It was those who then started to come in and wanted the freedom, the system, the structure behind what we do in their own business. And so that naturally holds hands with coaching and training. And so it meant that it sort of came full circle. What my passion area as an educator was and is, went from, we were serving people, but not in a way that I loved, to now it comes full circle that we're now teaching and training other solo founders to be able to be quite effective in their own businesses.
Lovely. So basically, James found his way out in the adversity, making it into an opportunity, and the love that you have for teaching, the whole circle complete, as you mentioned. Your love for giving, your love for knowledge, your love for giving that knowledge when it came back to you, and you tried to apply the same love in your business is what you said. I have a question. I just went back to your school teacher days, I mean, when what subject you used to teach, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so I started in music. So I was a music teacher.
Wow.
Yeah, so ever since child, I played piano and, a few instruments under the belt. So taught music, then taught studies of religion, so world religions. And then that turned into head of department and then head of curriculum and then deputy head of campus over time.
Lovely,
Yeah.
great. So if you can just highlight me 3 major learnings of yours after transition that this I shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
I repeat, 3 things that you learned that, I shouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
Rather, I do this. So what were those 3 major learnings?
Yeah, the first one was, or is, if I was to start again, is to be okay with asking for help or seeking help sooner, right? I was very competent as a teacher, and so therefore I felt that identity crisis that led to me, I have to be the best I can be straight away as entrepreneur, coach, business owner, where I would have moved even faster if I said yes to coaching myself, right? And coming alongside someone. So the first one is to either get my own coach first or to seek help first. The second one is sort of in the same sort of vein, is that the being able to build team, build capacity, build leverage. I was protective of my business, my baby, right? And so when it scaled and grew to numbers that was triple, quadruple what I was making as a teacher, I then kept hold of most of that myself, and I became a bottleneck. I can't serve everyone, right? Correct. And so to build team earlier, whether that be leveraging sort of staff, VAs, utilizing even AI now more, right? The automations, those whole processes. I still had my hands on it too much manually, which if I did that earlier, I wouldn't have had that bottleneck. I would not have had that sort of crash as a result. Lucky the second time through you learn. And the third one is that because my identity was in teaching, I didn't leverage that market. I sort of became, my personality is being out the front. It's connecting with people. It's personal. And because I was known for that as a teacher, when I started my own business, whether it be I was embarrassed that I wasn't teaching anymore, that I changed careers, or because you have to imagine I was this face in Sydney that I was that I was climbing the ladder, right? People knew me. I went to all the teacher meets. People knew that I wanted to be principal one day, and then identity crisis happens. Everybody knows the reason why. So you then second guess yourself. That imposter syndrome comes in, right? And so if I did it again, I wouldn't shy away from who I am and what value I can bring to people, and being out the front to be able to build my business, to build capacity, to build, I think because of it, I moved too slowly.
Lovely. I really like it for our guests who understand Hindi better, or a little transition for them. I'm just going to repeat. तो जेम्स ने अपने इस ट्रांजिशन में, यानी कि अपने पीक ऑफ करियर से जब शिफ्ट लिया, उन्होंने 3 मेजर लर्निंग्स बताई उनके फेलियर से. पहला बताता हूँ. फर्स्ट लर्निंग दैट जेम्स जस्ट टोल्ड मी, उन्होंने कहा कि आपको हेल्प मांगने में तकलीफ नहीं होनी चाहिए. अगर आप मदद मांग रहे, इफ़ यू आस्किंग फॉर हेल्प, you are not an inferior person, rather you are a bold person. And because James didn't ask for help, even if he wanted, he slowed down his progress because he had his old image, his previous image of he being the teacher, the senior most positioned guy. So always it's okay to ask for help. The mistake of James can be your opportunity. So he didn't ask for help, you can ask. Second thing, he said have a team. That's a perfect thing. James कहते हैं कि अगर आपको आगे जाना है तो टीम होनी चाहिए. कितना पकड़ लोगे? How much can one person do in spite of AI, in spite of all the help? तो अगर आपको आगे बढ़ना है तो जैसे जैसे आप आगे बढ़ेंगे, you should have your own team. अगर आपकी टीम नहीं है तो आप एक पॉइंट पे आके रुक जाओगे. You'll be stand still, you'll be stuck, and then you feel you're not progressing. So James took a while to figure out whether he should have a team or not. He was possessive about the business. He wanted to keep the secrets to him. He wanted to keep the passwords to him. But as James moved on, he realized he needs to have a team. So that's number 2. And third, and the very, very important, what I really believe in, is James accepted his now. अगर आपने अपने करंट पोजीशन को, करंट सिचुएशन को, करंट मोमेंट को, करंट सिनेरियो को एक्सेप्ट कर लिया है कि यार ये मेरी सच्चाई है आज की, इस वक्त की, तो मैं कल क्या था वो मुझे बॉदर नहीं करता है. आई शुड लेवरेज व्हाट आई नो. Very famous quote of Jim Rohn. I would want to put it up in your experience. Do all that you can do with all that you already know and all that you have in now. And maybe that moment, James didn't realize that he has a lot of connect. A lot of people know him through his face value. And maybe he didn't want to face them because he already had an image. What if people ask me, okay, why are you shifting? Why did you shift the lanes? Why did you change the business? But acceptance is the key. I have seen this on many people's WhatsApp status. I have seen this, people speaking about it. But actually that one line means a lot. And I think, James, while talking to you, I am reflecting back on my mistakes, and maybe one or two of them, what you said, goes back to my days when I was probably struggling, but it was not a struggle, it was my mistake. And that mistake brought me to the word called struggle. I'm really happy that we're talking about it, James. Lovely, great. So bringing this back to our conversation, that your 3 mistakes that you did. Now, if you can highlight that, what is your winning point? Like 3 winning points that added up, like your experience, now your mistakes, now you know your mistakes and you're working on them all over again, or you're changing them. So your 3 winning formulas that you feel as a teacher to an entrepreneur and traveling across the globe, because I've always seen your pictures in different countries, different locations, holidaying. And I'm wondering, how is this guy making money while he's traveling? So I'm sure there's some formula. I call it as a winning formula. So what are those 3 winning formulas that you would want to share with us?
Yeah, great. Obviously, the contrast to the 3 pain points is that, you know, you get the coach when you didn't have the coach, you build a team.
Yes,
all right, that's the obvious sort of flip side to it. But I think what you're asking is really about that. When did it start to click over and start to work?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And so I'll take you back to, we talked about, you know, I had to provide for my family. I had to do all these sorts of things. Ironically, like when we got sent home during that first COVID, and realizing I've got 5 children running around that I'm barely seeing, right? I leave before they go to, they wake up, I get home by the time that they need to go to bed, and then weekends I'm marking essays and all of that. And so that led to us wanting to start a business, as well as obviously being pushed out. But ironically, in starting my own business, as much as I was sitting at the kitchen table whilst my children were doing their homeschooling or running around me, I wasn't present. Right? Imagine that you're supposed to be starting this.
So many people around you and you're still not present.
And it's still not there. Like I was probably absorbed more by my work, my new work, my business that we're trying to build and start from scratch, which is understandable, than when I was not even in the house. And so with the understanding that, you know, make mistakes along the way, could have asked for coaching and whatnot early, as I started to grow and started to implement those things, go to more training, more more reading, having better conversations with people who are in the same position as me, and building network. All of them have it might be their own formula, or it might be their own sort of secret sauce that works for them. And at the end of the day, almost everybody's is the same. It just works differently for different people. And for me, with our agency being called Pillar Digital Marketing, I built the method of the pillar method, right? And so it's over my time where I've realized certain things. What are the key things in my business in that others can really sort of capture, understand, that then gave us this founder freedom that I now coach others in, that allows for us to live not in our home country, allowed for us to travel around Europe for 2 years, the old castles in UK and going to the theme parks in Germany and France on our off days or whenever we wanted. You know, last week we just went to Hong Kong Disneyland for one of my daughter's birthdays. Like, how do we have that flexibility? And it's really around this concept of this founder freedom that I sort of train or teach or coach other solo founders through. Is that the key things is sort of the PI, which is the beginning, which is sort of the presence, the identity. What do you do? Who do you serve? And really being clear on that. Initially, I tried to serve everyone, like I told you,
Yeah,
the plumber,
yeah.
the roofer. Like,
Yeah.
I meant I had to try to learn all of their language.
Yes.
I can't do it, right? So who do you serve and why? And then how do you communicate that? Then that middle is really around the leads. How do you get your leads in and what are you leveraging? Is it AI? Is it a team? Is it automations, right? So building around the leads that are coming in, how you nurturing them. And then the last two, A and R. So amplify, what can you turn up, right? What's working that you can turn up and amplify and scale. And I think one that a lot of people don't look at is R, which is their results or their revenue, right? People go, money's coming in, or it looks green, but like green lights, it's tick, 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 but they don't really know what their results, their numbers are telling them. And so they'll have great months, they'll have not so great months. So you really need to know your numbers. You need to know what's working, what's not, in order for you to be able to have a business that's sustainable. So I know if my leads are coming in, I know that they're being nurtured, I know my results, how much I'm making. So I can say, yep, let's go do Disneyland, or hey, we've got to it's really understanding the business in that sort of formula and framework. And so I coach others to build that in their own businesses so that they can have more of that founder freedom, right? But more time, more money, less chaos.
Lovely. So it's really great to hear that you got to the depth of the actual pain of any founder who is struggling to handle the business. And while handling the business, that person, the business owner, is also struggling with the family to give them time.
Yeah.
So I like the name called Founder Freedom, and what a lovely name. I mean, it's a self-explaining, what you exactly do. So our next segment is going to be about how can you help through this podcast. I'm sure there are a lot of people who would want to get in touch with you. I'm sure we all are going to learn through James in a couple of months from now or in upcoming years. But if I ask you that 3 things that if you would coach them through this podcast, what can be those 3 things that they need to immediately, in a simple way, implement to at least move the needle in the direction of founder freedom?
Yeah, great.
A little bit, something.
Yeah, so I think that the first one around that P&I, so positioning and identity, is really to find that first who you are, what you do, and who you serve, right? And allow that to be niched down and allow that to be very clear and succinct. Often you say, I help people, or right? So if you're going to do lead generation and you're great with plumbers or trades, I get you more leads in plumbing or in X amount of days or whatever it is. So being really clear on that so that your messaging, your positioning is directly to that audience. My struggle was I tried to serve everyone. And it wasn't until I started really talking to educators to start off with, and then those in the solo founder, that I spoke their language. I only had to worry about, when I'm coming to my social media, I only had to worry about one single line of messaging to one audience. So allow yourself to niche down, allow yourself to be really clear and succinct on position, who do you serve, and who you are, how are you showing up, because those two go hand in hand. So that's how I would say number 1, right? Who do you serve and how do you speak to them? I think that's important for you to have clarity, but also for your audience to have clarity, because otherwise, are you speaking to me? Are you not? And
I like this point.
Yeah, you miss
while
out.
you have your clarity, you need to understand that they are having clarity about you when you speak about what you speak.
Yeah, exactly.
Lovely. Okay, great.
My favorite pillar is leverage, L, right? So I think anything that in your business that you do more than once the exact same thing, you need to look at automating. And there's so many opportunities to automate, especially with AI these days. And so, for example, I, as a teacher, had 1 million emails every single morning, parents, students, the principal, right? Like constantly. I hate emails. So I get AI to read through my emails every single morning by 8 a.m., prioritize it, put a little checkbox next to it, tell me what needs to happen, what's priority, so I can just go there, look at it, tick it off, and fine, right? And so that's a system that's being automated that also gives me structure to what I need to do first. It prioritizes it rather than getting lost in my emails and then do I need to open it? Right? So anything that you do every day on repeat, how can you automate it? My social media. So daily I've trained my AI to go do research for me on whatever's trending in my niche, put together the carousel, send it to me, I will check it and then post it. So automating things that you do constantly that sort of take time out of your day that costs you, that you can then implement really easily, really quickly. So that's the other one, leverage. What can you use to leverage, to automate, to simplify your life, give you your time back?
Super. I think, so we got two of it right now. I'm waiting for the third perk. But what I like about this is don't take AI as your competitor. Don't take AI as your enemy. Don't take AI as as a traitor. Take AI as your friend. Take AI as your hand in hand, foot to foot, shoulder to shoulder. Make the AI your heartbeat and make it use in favor of you. Make AI your team, your staff, your servant, your assistant, whatever. And work the way AI is supposed to be used. I think that was a big takeaway for me. Not that I don't use AI, but while hearing you out at this moment, I realize in the next 24 hours, I'm going to get to my team and tell them, please automate my emails because I hate seeing those unread mail. It feels guilty that somebody's mailed you and you've not replied. If they're automated from another company, it's a different thing. But there are people who write mail to us, and if we fail to reply them, it's a little, personally, I feel awkward about that moment. So that's what I like. And also about what I like is about today's age, I think social media is playing a very big role. It's your parallel identity on the world front and on the face of the screen. You have to know what others are doing and do it differently. I love this quote by Steve Jobs. He says, see your competitor and do different. Don't copy, don't inherit it, do different. I think you answered those two pointers, which really matters. And somewhere I am able to link this that, even if my 5 minutes are going in checking in my Instagram or 10 minutes are going in checking in my email, every day 15, 20 minutes into 10 days, into a month, into a year, that much time I could save to give it to myself, to my family, or just sit and do nothing, maybe meditate. But this calls for a big round of clap. I think this is because sometimes we know it, but we don't do it. It's like reading a book and learn how to swim, or it's like reading a book and learn how to drive. Similarly, I know about AI. I know what all AI can do. The question is, are you doing it? And that's what James gets into the picture. Better do it now. I love that.
Yeah. It's there as a tool, right, to give us that freedom to really leverage, to take advantage of it. I think gone are the days where we can just type into ChatGPT, how do we cook this? Like it's not a it's not a Google search anymore. It's a tool. It can become a staff member for us, really. And so that's definitely one of them. And for me, number 3 is intentionality. And you talked about it just then. Like when you start getting your time back, you can put it your family, to meditate, to do something for yourself, to maybe something that's actually going to get you money in your business rather than I'm responding to emails, right? That's number 3, that really there needs to be intentionality around, okay, if you're going to have that founder freedom, if you're wanting that balance, that life can come into your business, or you still live a life around your business, then make the choices to either stop and give time to your family, or don't start until 9 a.m., 10 a.m., right? Or close that computer at 5 p.m. or whatever it is. It's intentionality. And that's probably the hardest one, because it's mindset, right? It's about changing your mindset that anyone can put in as many automations as they want, as many things for founder freedom that they want. but then they just don't turn off, right? We're always going to find the next job to do.
Totally.
Right? You've got
Founder is
multiple
always-
businesses.
yes,
And you're like, all right,
yes.
could do this. I've got some spare time. Let's make this happen. But the last one is that mindset around, okay, founder freedom also is a mindset. It's intentionality to say, hey, I've been able to leverage some time here. I'm going to give it back to something for myself, for my family, right? I've started doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu of all sports. I've got like all these bruises all over my face and body and like sweaty guys just going like, I'm like, why am I doing that? Because it's something my kids do and I've made them do, and they see now their dad do it with them, right? And my older kids, I train in the beginners class with them. So it gives time back to do things with them and to connect. And also now I found out that I've got a hobby that I love, right? I didn't have one beforehand because I was too busy. Yeah. But that's the intention to go, because I've been able to do that, what am I going to do intentionally with that extra time?
I love this last part. So all the founders who are watching this, or if you intend to become a founder someday or in near future, you must understand this, that your time, my time, James' time, or James Bond time, everybody's got the same 24 hours. How you divide them, how you decide to stop, pause something, and how you convert that time into giving it to something else that you would love to do intentionally and not forcefully. Because I realize this, that founders, maybe maximum founders, do their business forcefully because they feel it's my job, I got to do it, my team is not doing it, or my team is doing it, but I still need to do it. So that's not intentional, it's force. And what I take away from the third point is, you need to have an intention. Okay, if I need to give time to be in that karate room, what is it called? Sorry?
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And if that's your intention, to be with your family, your friend, or here in India, pickleball is pretty famous. People want to go for that, or they want to do kickboxing, they want to do swimming, gymming, dancing, sleeping, meditating, hogging. But it is your will to transit from your hustle. And you don't have that power right now with you, then you need to see this podcast and you need to connect with us, because we have our coach James with us, and he's not from India, he's from Australia, traveled the world, and currently he's from Malaysia. And the best part is sharing his knowledge with no interest, but an intention that he wants to share his knowledge. And he decides to give his time to this podcast. This means a lot to me because he values his time and he's valued my time too. Thank you so much, James, for this, bringing this light of awareness onto this time that we are sharing. And I'm sure everybody will value this time that we are putting up into the podcast. And glad. So yeah, you very well answered a lot of questions that most of our founders would be still struggling with. And now we move on to the next phase from this part of the podcast. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. Let's go. Jump in.
Super. So great. Yeah. So James, coming to the next segment, as we already heard your personal story, your life instances, moving into your situation that changed into challenges, you made them into opportunity, still learning through mistakes that you did, and different countries, different locations, and now we are here where you know how to do things right. Not just that you know how to do things right, you can make others to do things right. But somewhere, what I have seen, and I'm sure in international coaching forum that we met, we spoke, and we saw other people across the globe there, people are still making mistakes. If you could highlight few of those mistakes, 2 or 3, that in today's age when the information is available, everything is there on Google Gemini, we have Chat GPT, we have AI, all over around us. Still, the founders are in the same trap. What are those mistakes that most of or commonly found in the founders in today's age?
Yeah, I think it's the perfect question. And for me, there's 2 things there, and they sort of are connected most certainly. But one of the main things is, because we're in this age of AI, there's so much information, right? There's not just access to that information, but there's seminars and training and YouTube and Instagram, all of my, you should do this funnel, or you should do this approach, or try this strategy, there's so much to do that, you save this, or I'll go back to this later, and you never do, right? Because you don't have really the time or the capacity to do it. And so it means that we allow ourselves to get confused, moving away from, okay, what is our actual why, our actual, what I call in my P&I, my position and identity. Who do I serve? Who am I? Right? Like really keeping core to that and only worrying about that. Mm-hmm. That's crucial to the clarity, but to getting rid of the chaos and all the noise that's around. Yeah. Maybe you find one thing that you connect to and you try to implement that, but you're not going to be able to do everything. All things aren't for all people, right? There's something that's is going to be unique about who you are, what you do, who you serve. Yeah. And so really identifying that, finding that, to communicate that, to serve that. And then the next thing then I think is what many solo founders, coaches, small business owners get wrong, is that they don't have the system, the structure behind them. Even today, right? There's that many, whether it be CRMs or strategies or ChatGPT, give me the next 90 days of like whatever it is, right? Sure, you can implement that, but if you don't have the structure and system in place to be able to manage that, to be able to automate things, to be able to send a calendar link or to take a payment, and everything is still, I'm subscribed to 16 different things, or I'm chasing this lead and then, oh no, I forgot about this particular client. If you don't have the system, it's going to be chaos, right? That's something that I learned too late. I had one, as in I just, signed up to some CRM, but then I signed up to this one, and again, multiple things. It wasn't until I worked out, okay, how do you leverage a system, a structure that works for you, that serves you? So I think too often that coaches, solo founders, they, again, too much in their hands, they don't have an actual system structure behind them. System is where we can get our time back and make good money.
Yeah, I agree to you, and I'm somewhere able to relate to this conversation, because we also in our office, because I come from an entertainment background, and it's said that because we deal with a lot of vendor, different kind of artists, and the information and incoming and outgoing of clients is very volatile. It's unpredictable, so nobody believes in organizing it. Right. So even we were sailing in the same boat, but I said, no, I want to really track. It's been a couple of years now that I'm into same thing. And as we have met over a couple of times now, and we know how the whole world works, because we have been in an international forum of coaches where different countries, different people, different age group, but a common language, a common way to success, a common template, a common way to understand each other in spite of, I think we had a friend called from Germany, Sven. We had somebody from, we had Daniel from, I think, he's
Finland, but originally from India.
Obviously,
right,
India.
Yeah.
And then we had somebody from Philippines, we had somebody from UK, somebody from US, but still all were on the same page.
Exactly.
While we understood our mistake, while we realized that, this is a way forward. And I was really happy, because that helped me make decision to have my own app, my own CRM. There are a lot of CRMs across, all the web. So though we were tracking our positioning, so we were tracking how many inquiries do we really make? How many conversions do we really do? What numbers do we really have? How much time do we take to convert them? How much money are we spending on the people who are... So as a founder... I realized I was just not wasting my money, I was wasting my time on those people also.
Correct.
So it's not just a burnout on the time, it's burnout on the money. It's burnout on your efforts on that person or the team or the agency that you've hired. And we got a clear picture. And while talking to you also, I realized that many of our viewers and listeners, they would agree to this, that we all... All right, I think most of them, they put, as James just mentioned, that you'll put, give me a 30 days content. You will put it, you will take a print or you'll take a doc and you'll put it on the face of your staff and say, do it. who's watching that they are doing it or not, who's keeping an account. The day you stop following up with your stuff, that's your first day as a founder, is what my definition of a founder is. Wow, I just quoted something. Wow. The day you stop following up with your team members, that's your first day as a founder. And to understand what I just said, you need to see the whole podcast if you've missed it, or if you feel that you want to catch up. Please see, read, understand, or listen to this podcast, because it might not change your life, but it can be one small hint to change the way you work in this life. Great. So, James, lovely, great. I'm really happy to know all of it. Now we want to go a little deep in your behavior pattern as a coach. And this is a rapid fire that I've planned, and it's already running in my head. So this segment is rapid fire.
Good.
So the question's also going to be rapidly coming to me, and I'm going to throw it onto them.
Perfect.
So throw them onto you, and you're going to reply to me. Okay.
Good.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Timer ready?
Let's go.
Superb. Great. So, James, if I tell you, or if I ask, or if my listeners or my founders, my viewers are asking, James, what gives you the best source of knowledge? Your books, or audio listening, or a podcast? Fast.
Podcast listening.
Podcast listening.
Yeah.
Podcast. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, James, if given a chance, as a founder, you have a free time now, and you have 20 days free. What will James do? 20 days of a family trip, 20 days divided into 10 and 10 days for work again, and 10 days to family, or 15 days to family and 5 days to self? What would James do?
Good question. All right, so definitely a family trip to the Disneyland or one
20
of those.
days.
Yeah, enough for the whole time. But then so maybe a week, and then a resort on a beach somewhere.
So all with family.
Yeah, all with family, and then yeah, I think that's it. As many days on a beach as possible, actually.
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Okay.
Yeah. All right, 15 there, 5 days up.
Great. So my next question was actually about that, but I'm going to delete that. Let me throw the question anyways. So James would absorb the knowledge from the nature or the people around him, because a coach or a teacher or a leader always is somewhere directly, indirectly in the search of something to learn from. Our eyes are always up for that. So would you want to be around on the beach, or around the mountains, or driving through the mountains?
Driving through the mountains, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so that was a different answer than what I expected.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Next question. If given a chance to work with a solo founder, or a founder who's got a company of 100 people, or a big, a teaching institute, or a coaching institute, or a business coaching institute, want you to come and train hundreds of people, which of these three would be your priority?
All for a different reason.
Okay, go ahead.
But definitely solo founders, because that's where I've come from, right? And I really believe in that. And the large coaching the organization, because I know that I can impact multiple people sort of rapidly, and to be able to give them that training that saved my sort of chaos into structure. So for those sorts of reasons. But I do love the solo founder, because when an individual gets something and you're able to work one-on-one with that, it's there's something beautiful about it.
Lovely. I love the honesty of this answer, because I was expecting the third one, where the reach is to hundreds to millions of people as you gradually be in the organization. But as I have known James for a while now, and I love his honesty. I love you're true on the face, and it comes across. I know that even if somebody asks you something about me or somebody, you will still speak the truth even at the back. So what I like is his core movement, like his core shift, was because he faced a challenge as a founder, and he wants to help founders. And these questions, obviously, we don't share any of our questions to any of our podcast guests. And I love the way he said, I want to work with solo founders. That shows the integrity. He knows his P and I. Am I right? So follow what you preach is really meant for this moment right now. Lovely, James. Great. And the last question. This could answer me. This could answer our viewers, founders, listeners, and other coaches, our coaches, international coaches and friends also. If somebody decides to be on the coaching journey, learning journey, I'm talking about, to hire a coach, personal coach or a group coaching or series of batches through the year coaching. So they should enroll for a 1 month coaching, they should enroll for a 6 month coaching, they should enroll for a 1 year coaching, or they should keep bouncing and jumping into different coaching sessions. Which of these 4 do you advise?
Yeah, I think they need to look at themselves first, and I think that they need to do their due diligence. They need to research. They need to look at someone that they connect to. So whoever they connect to, what's the program that they offer, and what are the results that they're going to say that's going to happen within the month or the year, right? I think that having consistency is really important, and longevity, but also sometimes you get burnt out being locked into sort of programs. But I think ultimately, whether it be a lifetime, whether it be 1 month, it's really about the connection you have with what that coach is offering, and does that give you the goals that you're hoping to achieve? Yeah. Will that repeat over and over again, or is that just a one-time season thing, and then you find that next coach who's going to let you and help you achieve that next goal? So I've had clients or coachees that have come through, and their main thing was just to get a structure and system put in place, and I've set them up for that over a couple months, and then from there, they've gone and done their own business. From other coachees who start with us to do that, that's their main intention, and then just love being able to have accountability, love how we interact and help them grow their business, that then it's ongoing, right? And all right, what's the next goal we can achieve together, and the next goal? So I think it's really about the connection first, and what's the personal goals you're wanting to achieve? Will that coach help you do that?
Perfect. I love this answer also. So for our Indian people who would love to hear this same thing in little bit of Hindi, कि पहले तो अपने लिए गुरु चुन लीजिए आप एक coaching. मुझे अच्छा ये लगा, what I liked about James, he didn't say that okay, come to us and we'll teach you. Usually any other coach would have done that, or a marketing strategist would have done that. Okay, come to me and I'll tell you what to do. But here he really replied honestly, which obviously we all are expecting, but it could show through his answer that find the right coach for you. Understand if that coach is helping you to get to your goal. आपको अपने goal की तरफ आपके वो coach, आपके वो गुरु लेके जा पा रहे हैं कि नहीं, और अगर नहीं ले जा पा रहे हैं आपको, तो दूसरा ऐसा coach जो आपको अगले goal की ओर लेके जाए. And stick to that. And one thing which I want to address to all our people, I'm sure you also as a successful coach, internationally successful and acclaimed coach, learning is something that is never ending. But you should know when to also pause, because too much of data, YouTube, podcasts, Instagram, everybody's just coaching. There has to be a pause and restart. So what is your say about this part of it?
Yeah, exactly right. I believe in lifelong learning, and it comes back to that. Are you achieving something as a goal, or is it you're just getting more information at you? Yeah. I just had a coaching conversation actually the other day over a coffee where very sort of a young man who's achieved a lot. He makes good money, but he's just at the receive. He knows everything, and he wants to step into his coaching journey. And so that conversation led to, all right, well, what's the pause? What's the stop? What's the actual intention with all this, everything that you know? What are you going to do with it? Because he's looking, next I'll do this next course and this next course, but he's not in the position yet where he's started to make the money that he's investing. So it's, I 100% agree, but it needs to come down, okay, who do I serve? What do I want to serve? How am I bringing value to other people? And I agreed, if it's information overload constantly and you're not going to do something with it, then it's going into a void. It's pointless, right? It's about implementation also.
Lovely. So thank you so much for answering the rapid fire and my extra bonus question that I wanted to our founders and our listeners and people to hear. And with this, we end the podcast. But I would want to ask you something really personal again. We start and end with a personal question. How was your experience in India after so many years? How different did you feel India was? And how did you feel the food was? If you can just put your experience in few words, if you can just put it up to our camera.
Sure.
Please, put your heart out.
All right. Absolutely incredible. No, so Kunal has absolutely spoiled me this past 24 hours of. I got in last night at a ridiculous time because they kept pushing my flight back, but picked up this morning. We went to Gateway of India, and so a bit nostalgic for me because I got married 15 years ago. We went to the Maldives, and my wife and I stayed at Taj Palace for a couple of nights, and obviously went to Elephantara and went to the Gateway of India. So it was incredible to be there 15 years later and to sort of thank you for taking me there and sort of allowing for that experience. Found good coffee along the way. That's really important. Lunch. Where did we have lunch?
Tuckers, Indian veg thali.
Yeah, amazing. So I've always loved Indian food, but I'm sitting here going, I'm so full, but quality food. And it's just, we're very much about, and that's why we travel the world, right? Culture and community and people and how different people live and celebrating that and loving that. And just to be able to sort of see that with this fresh mindset, 15 years on, it has been an absolute pleasure and joy, and I can't wait to bring my wife and 5 children in the next little while to experience it as well. So thank you for your hospitality.
Always welcome.
And namaste. I've loved India.
Namaste. Thank you so much. So, the podcast has come to an end, and I'm sure everybody's going to have a great time at least speaking something for themselves through this podcast and learning. And thank you so much for being around. Thank you, James, and we appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
Namaste. See you soon. Come back soon.
Thank you. Will do. Thank you.
Thank you.